we will be free. For when the rising tide is turned in every London quarter, Parliament comes crashing down with Robert's Rules of Order.
Oh, this one's a small novel.
Okay, I'm listening.
Saturday the 19th. What is the correct procedure in handling a substitute motion? This is one of your favorites. Not a fan, is it? Anyway. A. Perfect the motion, perfect the substitute, vote on the substitution, proceed to the next item.
What? You've gone too fast. Stop. Okay, go back.
Okay. What is the correct procedure for handling a substitute motion?
Got it.
A. Perfect the motion, perfect the substitute, vote on the substitute, proceed to the next item of business. B. Perfect the substitute, perfect the motion, vote on the substitution, vote on adoption of the remaining motion.
Okay, I need to see it.
Go on to the next. Actually, wait a minute. Before you do that. Okay. Because you can't see the answer anyway.
What is okay? Perfect the original motion. I'm adding that word because perfect the substitute. Vote on the substitute. I believe it's A, but let's go on. Perfect the substitute. No, perfect the motion. Vote on this. What does it mean on the remaining motion? Okay. Wait, hold on. It's either A. No, it's A or C. And then let me read this again. Perfect the original motion. Perfect the substitute. Vote on C.
You're going with C. And it is C. Now, to read the rest of that off because it was glancing through this. Okay. The correct procedure in handling a substitute motion. A was perfect the motion, perfect the substitute, vote on the substitute, proceed to the next item of business. D was the same thing, but they flipped the order of perfecting the motion and substitute. Okay. B, and I'm going out of order because of the parallel. B, perfect the substitute, perfect the motion, vote on the substitute, vote on the adoption of the remaining motion, go on to the next. C was the same thing as B, except they flipped the motion and the substitute again. And you say it's C, which is correct.
So the first thing you have to determine when you're looking at the answers is what gets perfected first.
Right.
The original motion or the substitute. And it's always the original motion has priority because it was the original motion.
Right.
So that ruled out two of the answers.
Right. And really what it came down to was, on this was, which one do you do first, the motion or the substitute? And then both of the two cases where it just says vote on the substitute but doesn't vote on the
right.
On the motion,
it skipped it.
By definition, go out the window because you still have to. Otherwise, the main motion is still pending.
Right.
So that couldn't have been right.
Right.
You can't go to the next 10 minutes until the current one's disposed of. So I eliminated A and D automatically.
Yeah, I kept fucking up my eyeliner. Sorry.
It's all right. So. Bottom line, it had to be B or C, and it was C because the original gets right of way.
Yeah, I just wanted to explain how I got there.
No, that's fine. Makes sense. There was a lot of words in this question.
Yeah, at first I said A, and then I realized, they skipped the step.
There's a lot of words in this question, folks.
But whenever it comes down to what do you perfect first, it's always going to be the one that was made first. It has priority.
Right. So this is at 157, if I can get there.
Now, one thing they didn't say there,
yeah,
and I'm making you read everything until my eyeliner dries, is you can perfect them both simultaneously.
Yeah.
But it's cleaner. The chair can say how it's going to go. Right. And I've let people perfect them both simultaneously. But
for me, that would drive a secretary nuts for the minutes.
Sounds like fun.
Because you're jumping all over the damn place.
It sounds like fun because being a secretary can be boring.
Yeah, well, that'll make you want to tear your hair out.
I think it is a challenge.
Or in your case, when you're wearing one, tear your wig out.
I'll be, because I can't afford to get my hair done, I'll be wearing wigs soon because look at the roots.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I keep fucking with my eyes, but I fucked it up.
References 157, 26 through 35, and over to the next page on 1 through 5. Chapter 6, Section 12, under Amend. This is a pretty good size read. Under the procedure of... Okay, let me back up. Properly applied, the rules for the treatment of motions to substitute automatically operate in fairness to both sides when there is a disagreement as to the preferability of the original or the substitute. Under the procedure of initially accepting amendments to each element of the primary amendment exclusively, which is generally indicated whenever such disagreement exists, the proponents of the original version are first given an opportunity to amend their proposition into a more acceptable form in light of the conditions revealed by the introduction of the substitute. When this process is correctly handled, as described on pages 150 to 151 and 154, it tends to ensure that the provisions of the version first offered receive appropriate consideration without impeding a free debate of the proposal to substitute. By the requirement that the internal amendments of the substitute be done before the vote on a motion to make the substitution, the members are protected from having to decide whether to reject the original version without knowing what may finally replace it.
Yep. It's actually, I'm a big fan of substitutes, because I do think it's the best way to get to the best solution. But it can be a little tricky to handle.
That's why I'm a big fan of wordsmithing in advance of the motion being made in the first place, but that's just me.
Okay, now it's on really good.
Well, let's see. Close your eyes. Yep.
All righty.
Oh, nice long one.
But it's substitute, so that's my jam.
It's your thing.
Just like committees of the whole are your jam.
Fever! Let's hear the opposition side. Like a stubborn donkey's bray. All opposed? You say nay. Opposed! Opposed! The motion carries anyway.